Good evening. How are we all doing today? Let's do this one first, it's more interesting. Yeah, good. Okay. Okay. So, I think this branch is targeting develop. Good. So we'll start from develop as well. Oh, that's strange. Oh, yeah, let's just do a full reset. I'm in a weird space with my stuff. That's fine. Oh, there's actually someone at the door now, so I'm going to have to be right back. And back. Sorry about that. That's not normal. So, what's happening here? Just checking that my audio is not screwed up. Good. Okay. Right. So, this PR gives us a mouse API. Have I got any examples for that? CD examples. I've got text input but not mouse input. So, let's make a little mouse example. Main to mouse. Okay. And I suppose just to start with, mouse.cursor is, what are the options that we've got? Quite a few. One of the things I'm trying to figure out is whether I want to keep these names or change them. So we'll try them all today. We don't actually want to set it every single frame because it allocates memory, which is something I want to fix eventually. Okay. Examples mouse. Okay. Oh, it does set it. That's good. So it works. That's the first thing. You always want to check that people submit PRs that actually work. How about we actually grab this whole thing and we go var cursors is equal to this. And then like this. And like that. Oh, actually we can do one better. Because we can also put the comma on there, like that. Okay. We'll just step it along one. And now what we can do is go index is 0. Cursors index. Right. And then if mouse left dot down just pressed index is equal to index plus 1. And what we should actually then do is just modulo that with the cursors.count, and we should be able to click through them all. This might end up horrible, but we'll see. Okay, okay, okay. So what's the list we've got? So this is arrow, that's I-beam. I guess iOS doesn't have a weight, so it just does whatever. Although it's got the little spinny thing, so why can't I get to that? And then we've got crosshairs. I guess we don't do size. Instead we kind of get this held thing. Okay, so we don't do diagonals, we've got other stuff in there instead. And then we've got no, and then we've got the hand, and then we're back to normal. Interesting. I guess it's not a very platform approach. Is there any reason not to do it this way? I guess if there's a platform that doesn't have a flat index for these, then you might not want to do it this way. But then it would be very annoying, so. But the thing is that SDL doesn't do the same thing that we get otherwise. SDL weight cursor Mac. That doesn't look right. Okay. Let's check the source. Mouse. I think I end up in slightly the wrong place, which is annoying, but I did my best. I think I actually linked to the proper place. Or maybe I didn't, but I wanted to. Okay, it might be in HID API then. No. Oh, it's in video? Okay. Okay, so it does actually just define it like that. Does Coconut have a thing then? That's really weird. So if you want a weight cursor, how do you get it? Oh. Do they just not let you do it because it's a bad thing? I guess so. That is surprising. What's the best way to make your software look fast? Just never pretend it's slow, basically. Alright, okay. If that's what they want to do. In which case then, this is the list that we have to work with. I know, right? Great job, Apple. It's like, if you need to show this, you're doing something wrong, I guess is their stance. So they reserve it for system use only? How bizarre. Okay, so arrow, I-beam, arrow, crosshair, arrow again, closed hand, left to right, up and down, closed hand, big nope, and then hand cursor, and then back to the start. Okay, yeah, so we're doing the right things. That works. It doesn't seem to be causing too much of an issue. Performance-wise, I might need to get the profiler out and just double check that one. Because it's doing some memory allocation things behind the scenes that I need to double check, so. We might be able to do something smarter there though. Unless it's already doing the smarter thing, let's double check. Let's double check because I didn't write this, so. It doesn't look like it is doing the smart thing, but we might be okay. Let's see anyway. Do I get a memory? Allocations. Let's see if this works. Hello. The stream is definitely viewable after it stops. I think it stays on Twitch for a week or two, but I also repost it to my YouTube, which you can find linked in my profile on Twitch. So, yeah, I keep all the streams forever. So you'll definitely be able to look through. But I'm glad that you could come by, if just for a little bit. I'm just trying out your mouse changes at the moment, your mouse pointer cursor changes. Turns out that different operating systems provide different cursors, so you get a slightly different selection. Which is interesting. Hey Ben, how are you doing today? Right. I suppose that actually if I don't have the debug symbols turned on, it might not tell me anything useful. Meh, not good, not bad, just okay. That's basically how I feel today. It's been that sort of day. I mean, it wasn't terrible, it wasn't the best, but I'm excited to be here now. The stream notify controller thing didn't break on me. Seemed to do all of its jobs properly, so I'm pretty excited. Pretty happy about that even, pretty happy about that. Including something that I didn't think I'd get to test, but that I did. So, a lot of people when they stream have the little like event thing that pops up. So like when someone follows you or whatever, it pops up a little message. And I was trying to figure out how to do that for my own streams without having to use some third-party tool. And without having like an extra server or something, it's quite difficult. Twitch doesn't make it very easy. But I like hacked together a way of doing it that kind of works. And so someone followed me in the pre-stream, and it did pop up the little notification for me. So I'll get a little visual cue now when someone follows, which is great. Wasn't expecting to get to test that. And it means that I can start trying to monitor for other special events that happen and pop up a little thing for those. Which is pretty cool. I did a couple of other things to make that all a little bit smoother. Yes, thank you very much. I really appreciated it because I wasn't expecting it. But it's a shame that you don't get the credit for it. That was the only thing, is like people kind of, you do the thing, you see the event happen, you go like, ah, that was me, I did that. And you don't get that payoff. So I'm sorry about that. But, I mean, interestingly, if you unfollow and refollow, it shouldn't work again. It's meant to track for the whole stream who follows so that you don't get lots of spam or duplicates. So there's not even a way of fixing that for you. But I appreciate it all the same. I have to remember to look forward and not sideways. The chat is over here. Okay, yeah, the cursor doesn't seem to be doing any major allocation, at least on OS X, so I'm... Yeah, no, it shouldn't work for you either, Ben, because you would have been... Basically what it does is it captures the list of people who follow me at the start of the stream, and then compares to that every 30 seconds or something. So if you already followed me at the start, then you don't get it again. Aha! There we go! There we go! Look at it! Yes! Thank you so much! Cortexio. Thank you so much for following. That is fantastic. Look at that go. Yeah. Just to put that whole thing into context, basically I've got this little web service, web app running in the background here that basically helps me automate certain things for my stream just to make it a bit easier to set up and whatever. And I thought I'd just use that to add on extra features that I'm otherwise lacking, just to make the stream a bit more interesting. And so I got a little follower notification in there as part of that whole thing. Okay, I should stop clicking around on this. I'm happy with the memory consumption. Don't save. But it means that I get a well-timed marketing notification for Discord and my Twitter at a sensible time, and it also handles the controls for my macro pad so that I can control the stream properly and reliably and all sorts. So it's doing a lot of work, but I'm very happy with it. Okay, that seems good. I don't think I'll keep that example in the repo, but I'm happy that I made it there for this. So I suppose the last question is just, do I want to keep these names, or do I want to change it to something else? It's tricky without really using them for a long time to know, like, if that's a useful thing, and especially if they're not always reliable, I'm going to have to put a note in the documentation about that. It might be better to restrict the documented options to the ones that are more guaranteed to be available. Like, I don't know if all of these would be useful on Linux, for example, or if they all come up on Windows or any other platform. So it might be good to reduce that list slightly so you don't get some dead ones. I'm not sure. I guess if we... Yeah, so let's... I'm at... Okay, so, I mean, the thing is with that one is that could be... where's the cursor going to come from? It might be dependent on your window manager or desktop environment, or it might be dependent on the X Windows system itself, I don't know. So if someone chooses not to implement them, there's only so much you can do with Linux in particular because of the unique setups involved. I imagine that any of the major graphical operating system distros have got it set up so that they have all of them. OS X in particular seems to be missing quite a lot. I don't know why I went in there. I want Windows Mouse, please. Here. So it does look like Windows has them all as distinct things. So it might just be Mac is weird. All right. But also the naming does seem pretty consistent. Well, I imagine that they probably used the Windows one as the base, right? So, although the style of naming for these might be better just because they're nicely named. Although these ones are still missing a few, so we'd have to compensate. There's no diagonals, for example, so... tricky. So then let's see what X does with them. I don't normally have to dig through the SDL source code for this sort of thing, but this is a weird case, so... And I'm intrigued, it's interesting. That's a lot of things. See, this one's just a little bit different again. Fleur. Okay, the all directions symbol, I guess. So I guess that's probably what you get for some of them as well. For the size all and break ones. If you got everything, that would be a little unusual. Although, if you were doing it on an Android device, it might end up being slightly different. So let me just see what Android is up to. I mean, they don't even handle cursors properly, it looks like, so... Right, so yeah, it doesn't do cursor things the same way. That's fine. Yeah, we might drop a couple of them then. Or maybe not. It would probably be better to keep them available just in case the system changes in the future and people start supporting these extra ones. But we'd have to add something to the documentation to say not all of these are available on every operating system. You should be careful. So what does Apple call these different things? They do call it the I-beam, the crosshair. They just have closed hands. I mean, you just say hand, I guess, rather than pointing hand, so maybe that's better. And then we've got size. We'll leave them like that. Okay, I'm okay with it. We'll leave them like this. Cool. So I'm happy with that bit. If that stuff is fine. The only thing I wondered is whether or not we need to check if we're just setting it to the same thing we already have, but it's not actually that. It's not big enough to matter, I think, so we're okay. No one should be setting it. I suppose you might set it every frame, but having done the test that I have just done, I don't think it's that much of a problem. So I'm happy with it. Okay. So resolved. This looks good now. Oh, I didn't check for errors. Okay. Let's actually put that there, but then like that. Oh, no. We do new thing. There. So this should error because it's an invalid cursor name. Okay, cool. Although not all the oh, I assume that that's just a bug and it's not actually posted there twice. Yeah. If you happen to still be around, if If you have a very quick moment to just add a little note to the documentation, that'd be great. Otherwise, I will probably end up doing it myself and then just merging the branch in. I kind of wish that Twitch would tell you who was actually online and watching, but I suppose with like 50 people or whatever, it's not very practical. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm happy with that. That's all been quite good. So, that was that one. This one is more interesting, to me at least. I'm not sure if I can do that easily from the app on my phone, though. Because that's what I use to check the chat. Yeah. It's a very lo-fi setup we've got here. Here's a simple mouse cursor test. Yep. I'm not going to commit that, but it's good to have it for now, just in case I still need to use it for testing things on that branch. Right. Second PR. Oh. Oh, yeah. So this one's interesting because it's changing how we include Ren in the project. The Ren VM is external to Dome. Normally it's in the past been built as a separate library and linked in. But doing it that way makes it harder to build Dome for some other platforms. And I'm trying to make that as easy as possible. So I'm using the what Ren calls the amalgamated build, which is basically where it just provides you with a header and C file to include in the project yourself. So the main thing here is just to check that the thing actually builds, which should not be too difficult. And that I can do things with the debug, I suppose. Oh, that hasn't actually made it in yet. Okay, well, I will probably have to fix that one. But anyway. Yeah, so this section here is new. In the past it would run a whole bunch of scripts to update the right version of Ren and build it and put it in the right place and marshal it into something useful. But now we just include it flat in the repository. That looks okay. Did I not update the version tag or something? That's unusual. I'm pretty sure that the latest version is 1.6.1. It could be that that tag is just not on develop somehow. It's possible. But it's fine. We've got a version of Ren. It seems to do things. Oh, it wouldn't run here because I'm doing weird stuff on this this game. But it does run Cartomancer. That's fine. That was the previous one. So yeah. Although something is running slowly. So that's a little strange. I don't know what could be causing that. Although actually it might just be that this engine is a little slow. It's not the actual game engine. The game is slow, not that Dome is having the problem. Because everything else seems quite responsive. It's just the movement feels a bit weird. But I think that's to do with the actual way that things are. Because everything else does flow quite quickly. Okay. So then the only thing that's really missing is this bit is here, and I now need to move it to be like probably up here with the various other things. If debug, then ren params plus equal dash d debug, like that. Like that, even. Because, oh. Yeah, so we got the debug flag. And we've got no optimizations on the G. So then this will run a little slower. I don't remember it being that clunky though. That seems okay though. Okay. Added the, well, debug macro is now defined for ren when in debug. Let's try it differently. Compiling in debug mode for ren works now. Yeah. I always get this bit sort of confused. I guess we can do that. Oh. No, I've got no idea. Okay. But yeah, that's basically all it needs doing, is just that little bit there. So let me just leave a little comment. Yeah. Yeah, so let's just go in here real quick. I'd probably move these two near the top of the file, and then we can append -d debug equals 1 to them. Ren params variable if we are But otherwise, this seems to work, seems to look pretty good. I think that the files are just part of the render. Is it just in here though? think it is vim ren.c. And then this is just all of the stuff, yeah. Okay. So if I just borrow this command for a moment, does it seriously not give me? Oh no, it's not that one. It's this one, describe tags. That's unusual. Oh, yeah, I changed it. I changed it. It's now main. Okay, yeah, so for whatever reason I must not have yet merged from main back into develop, so the version is wrong. Okay, that's fine. It's just a strange curiosity that happens. I don't think we changed anything else in particular. Includes, yeah, that's fine. Yay. And you can tell that it works pretty well because it works across all of our platforms already. But it should also make porting a hell of a lot easier. Nice. Okay. Those are both fine. So let's go back to what we were doing before. And do the next thing. I'll probably merge those in once those changes get made. And then ideally before the weekend, but we'll see how we go. I'd like to do a new release candidate for Dome in time for 7-day FPS, which is starting, I think, on Friday officially. So we'll see. Right. So that's what compiling Ren from scratch looks like, if you have to do it. Great. That's fantastic news. Thank you very much. Everything looks really good. It's just little things that I need to have changed. Because I hope that I don't come across, I don't know how to portray pull request comments in a way that seems positive and such, but I'm really grateful for the things that you've done so far. It's just got to make sure that we do it right. So I want it to be perfect. I don't want it to sound like I'm being harsh or anything, I don't know. Hopefully not. Okay, so examples. Okay then, I will remember that. I will remember. Okay. Oh, I need to go put the thing back. CD examples, yep. So this should just run. No pro. Oh, it doesn't. Oh. Oh, yeah. I remember why now. Because on the previous stream we were playing around with the memory allocator checking stuff. So I need to go in here real quick and just comment that out. Make clean make. And then CP, and then done. So this runs. Yeah. So Dome is usually intended to be a 2D framework. That's its primary purpose. 2D pixel art. But with a plugin, the hope is that you can also do 3D things if you want to. Or faux 3D things to start with, and we'll get to proper 3D things in the coming months. But I'm not here to develop this game today. I wanted to actually finish off the plugin stuff that goes along with this. So I'm going to be writing some documentation and things. Removing the assign from the Raycaster plugin example. So what we do is I think we start from docs. Oh, I actually need to hop out. Docs. Yep. And then to the index. Now, what I really should do is split this document into multiple files now, because I'm introducing enough separate API services that they could have their own pages, I think. So we've got core, yeah, core ren, and then we'll do audio. I kind of like this ordering, so. Like that. And then I introduced graphics. Well, actually, technically, I introduced the canvas. And then I introduced bitmap. So this should now go in that order, I think. I don't know if this can do that. I'll have to test that one out. So we need to go over here and see what new stuff we added. So this has got, well, I suppose we'll borrow this structure and go, yeah, keep that as methods actually. So our bitmap API has got in it from file and from buffer. Although the from buffer might actually need a little tweaking. Oh no. Because they're doing things. I need to check that one, because from buffer feels like it should do something different from what I think it actually does now. What I'd like is for you to be able to feed in arbitrary color data and use that as a bitmap, as well as load them in from a file that's stored in memory, so we might need both. In which case I will have to re-implement that. And then we can do pget. Feel free, while I'm doing stuff, to ask questions about what I'm doing as well. If there's something that I'm doing that feels a bit strange, I'd love to get comments about things and explain stuff. So, otherwise I will just continue blathering on about whatever's on my mind. So that's the methods. And then we actually have a struct in here as well. Yeah. Struct. I might need to do like a separate section for structs potentially. Okay, so that was that one, and then for the canvas we actually have these two that we can just bring straight over. Presentation-wise, I'd rather do it that way around, I think. Well, yeah. And then this one is actually unsafe piece set. Oh, we're going to get this name clash here. That will cause us some problems. I don't know how we can resolve that here. Unless I can specify custom things for the titles to jump to. I'll have to look into that. Unsafe pset, pget, and then I get width. height. And then draw and line. There. It's mostly alphabetical order, but not quite. In this case, alphabetical order actually makes a lot of sense, so I'm happy to use it. And then this is color. And then at the moment, the IO only has a single method in it, which is read file. So now that we've done those, oh, there is a draw mode. Oh yes, okay, I do need the enums section as well then. Like that. That seems to be everything that I added to this API. So now we just need to write these things. Nope, that's not what I wanted. I just want to bring everything over. There. So now I need to steal this thing. Bitmap. This set of APIs allows you to load and manage arbitrary, well, load and manage graphics from supported file formats. see the graphics module for more information. So then this is bitmap API v1, v0. Hello. Bitmap and a bitmap. I could probably have just find replaced, but I didn't. So then this now doesn't actually need the enum. Hello there, Paco Power. How are you doing today? And what brings you to the stream? Struct. Nice. Well, feel free to hang around, ask questions if you like. If you enjoy what you see, give me a follow. But yeah, I'm just sort of working on the documentation for my game engine. So, yeah. Hopefully it's been a good day or night, depending on what time it is, wherever the hell you are. It's somewhat evening for me, so this is the end of a long day. We've not actually made structs part of the API yet, so this is a first. Dome, bitmap. Like that. Oh, maybe I should do it differently though. Maybe can I do a table with what I have in here? I've not had to do markdown tables. Yeah. So the engine is called Dome, and it's for the Ren programming language. It's a little scripting language. There's some information about it in the about section of my stream, but I can also point you at the website here. And it's a very small and embeddable language. And quite expressive, very fun to use. Got a couple quirks, but you get used to it, as I said to a lot of people yesterday. It's been around, sort of growing gradually over the last 3 or 4 years, I think, maybe a little bit longer. But it's good. So you can even just try it out. I know that there's a few people who've been doing the advent of code with it recently, which has been kind of interesting to see. Yeah. But if you need some quick and easy way to get up and running with it, then Dome is a fantastic tool for that because it comes as a prepackaged executable with a lot of things built in. Although there are some differences between it and the sort of stock command line interface version, just because we provide slightly different modules, which is a slight pain, but advantages and disadvantages. I'm a little biased though. Right, I wanted to know about markdown tables. Exactly, that was sort of where I was aiming for. It's a mixture between, like, it's got the same sort of feel, I think. A lot of people make that comparison, and it's sort of what I was going for. But it comes from a place of, a place in a philosophy for something like a fantasy console, something like Pico 8 or the TIC 80. So the way that the APIs are intended to be used is very much like that, but without a lot of the same limitations, and a few other bits and pieces here and there that make it more flexible and more usable for larger projects. The idea being that you can use it for a small project and a big project, and it kind of evolves naturally with you as you need. That is a fantastic set of search results. There we go. Okay, so it's just pipes. Okay. Something like that. And then we can do width, height, okay, like that, and 32T like that. Yeah, so there is, so Ren comes as a embeddable virtual machine for all sorts of other projects. So a lot of people put it into their own game engines, or can do, or other projects that might need a scripting system. But there's also the pre-built CLI, which is partly an example and partly a way of functionally using the language without any of those external tools. A lot of stuff is, a lot of the functionality of the virtual machine is sort of outsourced to the host. So the host application provides a lot of things. And one of the things that you would find missing normally is the file I/O. So accessing files off the drive is something that's provided by the host, not the VM, which is why the Ren CLI and Dome have slightly different things in them, even though the language is the same. There's like the core modules. Yeah, so you got these core classes. Every VM comes with these. But then there's also extra stuff that is just for the CLI, which other things won't have. but they could in theory provide their own, and Dome does. I just thought I'd clear that up. I don't think I said it very well earlier, so yeah. But it gives you a lot of freedom to implement different things. Oh, thank you so much for the follow. Gotta say, that is the best thing, having that pop up for me. Okay. Width of the bitmap in pixels. What's the bitmap? Dip. And so yeah. Let's yank and oh, that actually worked. Okay. Just I'm trying to learn a few new tricks for Vim, so yeah. Unfortunately, this isn't necessarily the most exciting stream. Quite often I'm actually developing stuff on stream rather than just doing project maintenance. But today I really needed something a little bit lower energy just to do things differently. And I've got a few of these jobs that have been piling up for a little while, so thought I'd clear them out, having a bit of company while I do. So I appreciate everyone coming by. There, I did that earlier. Okay. The number of color I don't actually think I want to mention that there are channels because it's not very useful. Because it never changes. Point to the first pixel of the bitmap. I suppose what I mean is that the channel's value is provided by the file that's incoming, not the data storage. So you never have to worry about it as a developer because it never matters. It's only useful if you need to know that the file happens to have been stored as a mono thing on disk. So maybe it's not worth having. And we just won't tell people it's there. I think that's better, because then if we decide it's useful, we can add it on later and it's not so bad. And we're not actually providing the struct like this, we're doing it like this. The DOM bitmap type contains the following fields. Nice. I'm never doing tables again. That's not true. But that was a lot of work. Okay. So that was the struct. So then we need 1, 2, 3 for methods. And then 1, 2, 3, 4 method from file. I just want to double check how I did these. Each one actually gives you the full signature. Okay. Okay. They don't get indented. Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I like working with Markdown. It's actually pretty good. This is the stuff that gets converted into HTML for the website. But I don't know if the static site generator that I use will actually handle the table correctly. So that's why I'm a little bit concerned. But it's not the end of the world. Actually, I mean, I've written a lot of documentation for this engine, so I'm not averse to it. It's actually a requirement. I won't land a pull request for this engine unless it's a documented feature. If you're introducing something new, it has to have documentation with it. And that is a piece of self-discipline more for myself than anybody else. Otherwise, it will never be documented and no one will use it. I just need to explain what this does. Okay. Loads an image file from path on disk relative to the there is a certain amount of challenge to writing good documentation, and I'm not entirely sure that I've got it quite right, but it's better than nothing. It's a skill. It's a definite skill. I normally wouldn't do this sort of thing, but because I want this engine to be a thing for other people to use, I consider it essential. And so I'm much stricter about it than I would be on other projects. Using the included That's true. That's true about anything. The more you do anything, the better you get at it. Using the Okay. Yes, it worked then. Especially for an engine, telling people, read the source code, read the tests, look at this example, doesn't work. Really. People won't do it. So I've tried to make the entry as smooth as I can. There's more I can do to make that better, but the foundation for that is accurate API documentation. There may not be tutorials, but you can look up every function that you can rely on. That's important though. Yeah, I'm very careful about not breaking stuff as well. So if I declare in the documentation that something works a particular way, it's gonna work that way forever. Or at least until I do a major version bump. So yeah, that's the other bit of strict policy that we have. Is it must be documented. We don't break stuff. And we don't break stuff, we don't remove things, we don't change how something works if it would break the code relying on it. That's the idea. But I want you to be able to take a version 1.1 Dome project and move it to 1.7, and it should be fine. Which is why I wanted to think about how I did this from buffer thing. Because I'm actually not sure that's the right approach. It's one of the few times that I wish that I had like method overloading or function overloading. What was it? Void star buffer and size2 length. Loads an image file stored. That's a good question. I don't yet. I normally come up with the name by looking at the changelog and seeing what the major change was, and then figuring out some sort of adjective for it. But I can't fully remember all the things that have been added since the previous version. So I'll have to come up with a appropriately pithy name. Returns a okay. I think it will probably be, well, one option could be like the gorgeous graphics edition or something. But we could also just be like terrific triangles. I need to have a look as well and see what adjectives I've already used so I don't repeat myself. We'll see. There's been a few bits and pieces that got added. It's been a bit of a grab bag, actually. I'm normally a bit more focused. But it's You're familiar with Lua and the no game script that runs if you don't load any code. I am not familiar. What is that? If I did terrific text, then we can't use it again. There was a lot of stuff for the text and font related things, so yeah. Yeah, I assume that you meant Love2D. Okay. Because I feel like this one should actually be from memory. But I don't know if I'm actually using this anywhere. No. Okay. Oh, I wanted to have a split. Yeah, okay. We're back to where we were. Yeah, so what do I call it? I've got like the file data, but it's in memory, not a file. So from memory might make more sense than from buffer. I guess rather than from buffer, it could be from pixels, and then just give you a buffer of pixels. That might be a better naming scheme. Okay, we'll do that. So, oh, if I rename it here, I'll have to go and fix the rest of these though. What do we think? From buffer, from memory? I guess you could, I mean, the alternative is that we could be like, from file in memory, nice and verbose, like that. That could be it. Although that's a lot more. It lacks the conciseness of from file. But it is like an extension version from file in memory. So maybe that's better. I'll leave it there for a moment while I consider the rest of these. Because renaming one of these is awkward. So what does the no game script actually do? Does it just do nothing and just sit there? Or does it do something interesting? Okay. Oh. It's a little graphic that plays D. Okay. I've never really wanted a default thing for Dome. I feel like if you're not providing it with something, you've done something wrong, which is why it tends to error out. But also, aha, that is not actually built in. That's just the examples that I use everywhere. But admittedly, that example could be better. It's just if you provide no input at all, it doesn't find a file and it fails out. No problem. It's, yeah. I mean, maybe we could embed a tiny little script. I don't know. I need to think about it. I'm not completely opposed to the idea. It would be nice to be a bit more visually interesting than when you install Dome for the first time. Because I suppose in some situations that could be a bit of a misnomer as well. We tell you that something was wrong. It's a careful thing. Yeah. I haven't really used Love2D, and I try not to look at their stuff because I don't want to be accused of copying. So I know very little about how it does its thing. Safely freeze the memory. After this function returns. So what you're saying is, rather than having main.ren in the repo as an example, you just wouldn't, and it would just run a default thing when it can't find something. Does Love2D really not have some sort of error mode for when you don't provide it with anything? Because, yeah, I don't know. It feels like it should be noisier. It shouldn't just do something. That feels weird to me. Yeah. Like that. Returns the color of the pixel located at XY in bitmap. I don't remember yet if that checks range or not. So I'll probably have to come back to that. And then void pset bitmap xy color. Sets the color of the pixel in bitmap to color. Nice and to the point. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that was 1. So we've done that stuff. Next is the canvas. Need to modify what is displayed on the main canvas. You can exploit this to allow for more efficient graphical rendering techniques, like a full 3D software raycaster or something. Draw mode. Oh, actually, this should probably be a table too, but draw mode, draw mode, blend. This enum can be used with, well, actually we don't need to document it here necessarily. It's, well, maybe. Let's do it. Let's do it. Some methods allow you to enable or disable alpha blending for performance gains. Struct no. Struct dome color, and then I need to go back for the table. A R G and B. Let's see if we can center these. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And then all of this can be uint 8t space 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 space. Yeah, it seems to not always recognize my escape key. Is that to do with some of the settings I was messing around with, maybe? Okay. And then red, green, blue. Like that. This type is also a union. The I always forget which endian this it is, but that was these. We just need the struct and then we're done. Just need the methods even. Oh. Methods, and then this method is draw. And draw takes a DOM context, the bitmap, your X, Y, and DOM draw mode. Draws the bitmap to the canvas at X, Y, if set alpha blending will be applied. Okay. I need to double check whether or not that supports the so-called draw context. Source. And I don't think it does. This will ignore the canvas draw context. Offset, clipping, region, etc. We could feasibly have an opt-in flag for that in the future. But for now, we don't do it. Please go away. So that was draw. Get width. Get width just requires the context. And it returns a UN32T. Returns the width of the canvas in pixels. And then we can do the same thing with height. Nice and simple. And then this is line. And line does lots of bits. It requires, I'm actually just going to copy the whole bit because otherwise it's going to get something missing. draws a 1 pixel wide line between x0, y0 and x1, y1. In the chosen color. Looking good? All right. Okay. So that was line. Can I just steal the previous P set? I think I can. Context. I don't think that context is a pointer, so we can get rid of that. CTX. Okay. Good evening. And the canvas. Nice. And then this is the weird one, unsafe P set. This method does not do range checks. If you attempt to set a pixel outside the canvas, you risk crashing dome. This method is provided for performance sensitive applications. This function is provided for this. It does not. Does not do range checks. And okay. So that was unsafe pget. So that's all of that one done. And now we just have one left. I/O. Allows you to access features the host file system to read files. Nope. Canvas IO ding. There. Yep. Synchronously reads the file located at path to memory. The size of the file in bytes is stored in the location pointed to by length. Like that. You are responsible for freeing this, freeing the returned pointer when you are done using it. I was wondering if I needed to provide my own free function for this, but I think we can get away with it for now, and then if it starts breaking things, we can revisit it. The plugin API is a little bit different in terms of the guarantees that I gave earlier. But that's it. That was a lot. Okay. -m added documentation for the new plugin APIs. And now I just need to go and rename a bunch of things in here. From buffer is now from file in memory. Vim source API graph, no, bitmap from buffer. %s from buffer from file in memory, and that got all of them apart from one. From file in memory. Just check that compiles. And try not to sneeze. And then just double check that it works. Examples, Raycaster. That doesn't look right. Or does it? It might just be that example. Okay, yeah, that example is just wrong now. I changed something in how that example works. So, CD examples, Raycaster, Vim, texture. Oddly, I would have thought that it would have been fine like that. Oh, it's because I'm actually using that. Okay. Renderer.ren set texture ID. Because this is now texture ref, I think. Like that. Yeah. I think this is okay as value because I'm not done with that API yet in here, but it's fine. Yeah, because now we've got our textures back. Cool. Okay, commit -m rename bitmap from buffer to bitmap from file in memory. Okay, add example, get commit improved support for the texture ref on walls. For now, get push origin there. That was quite a stream. Thank you everybody who came by today. I think I'm probably done for now. We got quite a bit done. We looked at a few pull requests for some upcoming quality of life things, which will hopefully be landing quite soon. And we got a bit more documentation done, looking at the plugin API that I've been working on for a little while now. And generally got to hang out, talk about things. It's been a good time. I've really enjoyed this stream. I've really appreciated everybody who came by. I hope to do more streams next week. I will probably be working on an actual game next week for the 7-day FPS event. So you'll definitely want to follow if you don't already to catch that. So yeah, I hope that you have a wonderful day, morning, afternoon, or evening, whatever time it is where you are. Have a good one. Good night.